What is going on, YouTube family? Tio here, Simplistic Fishing, back at you tonight to continue our Lake Chickamauga Lake Breakdown series. We have been focused on the upper section of the lake, and we went through 3 different videos on Google Earth. Hopefully, you guys were able to see those. If not, just go out to our Lake Breakdown playlist on our channel. We've got all those videos plus hundreds of other lakes that we broke down as well, and we continue to add more and more each and every day. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to use the Navionics boating app. That's an app that you can buy from Garmin or Navionics, however you want to say it. You can buy from them and you can have it on your phone, your iPad, or whatever. It's your mobile device. And that is the tool that I love to use to break down lakes from a contour perspective. So as I mentioned before, we already went through the Google Earth side. So we went and saw what we could see from a satellite imagery. Now we're going to switch over and see what we can see from a contour perspective, see if we can find any more hotspots out there for you guys. So stick around. This one's going to be a good one. Let's go. Here we are back on Lake Chickamauga, and we are using the Navionics boating app, as I mentioned in the introduction. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the contours to go through and pick key areas that we feel are hotspots on this lake. Now, please keep in mind, there's no way I can mark every single offshore hotspot that is on this lake. That would be a miracle if I were able to do that based on the mapping and the contours. But hopefully what we're doing here is going to let you break down the lake a lot faster and be able to pattern out fish and get you on some fish really quickly. So let's do what we did on the Google Earth videos. Remember, we had 3 of those. We started at the bridge and we started right here at this point that you see right here. Or we started at the bridge on the Google Earth. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to start right here at this point. Love this point. This is the Hisui. I'm probably going to say it wrong, but the Hisui River is coming through here. And then you have the Tennessee River coming through here as well. So that junction, just having a point right there that's awesome. That's a great point. You know that's going to be a good place to go fishing. The other thing to notice here, there's not a waypoint here, but notice this really steep bluff wall that you kind of have right in here as well. So that could be a good place to go look, come wintertime, things like that. So go look at that. Now I'm going to zoom this back out, and we're going to go on up the riverbed here. There are some things up here that I do think you should look at too, like right here where this little, I guess it's like a little offshoot of a creek channel or something like that comes down through here. Maybe look right in through here and just see if there's any type of a ditch or something like that might be right here in this area that's not showing up on the contours, maybe something we couldn't even see on Google Earth, but it's definitely something to take a look at. It also shows there's an underwater bridge here as well. Now, is there any truth to that? I don't know. I can't go out there and validate it for you, but if there is, that could be a really cool place to go look as well. So definitely go look at that. All right, so let's go ahead and let's move up the river. Again, there's another one of those little outlets, right, where the little creeks come down, and those can be really productive areas, especially if you have some flow coming through there. There's lots of oxygen and good stuff, good water coming out of there, and there could be ditches and things that the water has basically eroded, where it's eroded the land out. You may even have some exposed rock and stuff like that. So those are always good areas to take a look at anytime you see these creek channels coming in. And especially if you see a good point around those creek channels. Now let's go ahead and let's keep moving over. I didn't see too much from an offshore standpoint going through here. This is mainly your main river channel. But again, pay attention to anywhere these creek channels are coming in, because it's showing there's some stuff here. There's not much to mark. I can't guarantee that that's exactly where those creek beds are, but you want to pay attention to them. But there's a couple things here on this part that I really think you should pay attention to. One, obviously, would be the edge of this point where the river goes out and then it kind of splits down behind this island. So it has a really good point right in here. So this would be a really great place. You've also got this hump that's out here in 10 foot of water. So that can be interesting to fish anywhere around this hump. Really would be a good area. But also when I zoom in, I want to show you a couple things. One, you got the hump that's up here, but you've also got some really steep bluff walls going on right through here as well that can be productive at certain times of the year. So a couple good places right in there. And then if you look over here, there's another hump here. It's like you have this this big island, and then on this island, basically you have two humps. You have one hump that comes up to 10 foot, and then you have another hump that comes up to 17 foot. You can see it right here. So those fish really could be anywhere. If they're up on that hump feeding, they could be up on this one, they could be up on that one, they could be in between right here where this little ridge is. But this area right in here would definitely be an area you'd want to go explore and just see if you can see anything hanging out around that area. Also, the back edge of that, where you basically, it doesn't make a good point here, but there's any type of point or anything that you can find right around in here, maybe just check out this little opening right in this little section here, where the two break apart. Now, we're going to cover this one up here when we come back. So we're just going to stay down on this side for right now and just see what else we can find as we're coming down the main river channel here. Again, make sure you look at these spots, and when you're zooming by, just slow down a little bit and look at these little spots where these creeks come in, these little back end creeks or backwater creeks, whatever you want to call them. But as they come in and dump into the creek channel, look in those little areas. Now, the spot that I like right here, and of course you can see it because you've got the river channel coming right here, right? And then the river channel actually swings up and touches this little point that's right here. So you've got a river channel swing hitting right up against the point, and that's always going to be a good place. I'm sure there's more rock, there's hard stuff there from the erosion that's happened. There could even be brush piles and stuff like that that have piled up around in that area. So that's going to be a really good spot to go look at right there where you see that little marker at. You can look, when I zoom in, you can really see how sharp it is right in here. All right, so let's keep moving down, see what else we can find. As we come back in here, you're seeing a lot of shallower water, basically 10 foot or less when you're getting over here in this area. That's why we're really not seeing any contours or anything. This is the main river channel here. But as you come back here, if you get back on this little creek right here, it says there's a little underwater culvert that's back here. And if that's true, it's in about 7 foot. Actually, didn't say culvert, I meant bridge. If it's true, it's in about 7 foot of water. It looks pretty good. I could see them getting back in here and spawning and stuff like that. Maybe there's cover back in here as far as vegetation or something like that. I don't really know what's back there, and I can't see it on Google Earth right now. But I would say that may come into play. That would be a good little pre-spawn area too for them to hang out, check up at. So maybe go take a look at that and just see if there's anything there. Now, moving on down the river, didn't see too much back in these slows, but as we move a little bit further back, thought I had some more back in here. I did. So we're gonna kind of go down the river quite a ways, a little bit until we get down in here, and this is where I really started to find some better spots for us to go look at. So let's go back on this side first. Let's just talk about what's in here. So obviously, from a contour perspective, I can't really give you anything here because it's not giving me anything at all. It looks like one of those fish attractors is right there, but those are marked on the Google Earth side, so don't worry about that. So the main thing that we're going to go back here and look at then is really just going to be seeing what we can find that's back here that's a little bit different, because obviously we don't have the contours. So is there any type of cover that's back here? Is there anything that they could set up on, any type of hard areas that they could set up onto, things like that? And that's what you find right here. You've got this submerged bridge right here. I don't know if this is a bridge as well or just a culvert, but you definitely have a road bed that comes through here, and those can be really good spots for those fish to hang out at. So you want to go check that out. And if you can get further back in here, this is obviously shallow areas, right? You're getting down into pretty much nothing, but you got another bridge right here. And these bridges are always great places to fish around, especially when you got a main creek channel, which is usually the case, not always, but usually the case. Anytime you got a main creek channel coming through here, these bridges are just great pinch points. The pillars will load up with fish. The bait will hang out around here. These are always just great spots from an offshore standpoint to go look at. All right, so I'm going to move back up. And as I move back up and I get over here, let me pull back and just show you where I'm at. I'm over here by this main highway that's right here. So I'm going to come over here. We were back in that pocket. I'm going to move up here into this little pocket right here. And as we zoom in again, you're seeing some docks. Now, docks are going to come into play. There's a lot more docks over here than there are in other areas. So definitely, fish around the docks, see what you can find. But other than the docks and and any type of vegetation you can find, come out and just get a little bit further out since we're talking offshore and see if any of this stuff is there. Validate that it's there. It should be good. Navionics says it's good, but a nice submerged bridge right here as you're getting into the back of this major flat that's back here. So that to me looks like a really great place that I could see fish setting up at for pre-spawn and post-spawn before they go into the back and do their spawning. So that would be a really good spot to go take a look at for sure. So let's go ahead and move back out. Now we're going to get way back out here. Yeah, let's go out here to the main. Well, let's not. We'll cover that coming back. We're going to stay over here on this side. Well, obviously we're in the shallows right now. We're just seeing what we can find over here in these little flats that are out here. But another submerged bridge. This one looks really good. Just being in the middle of the creek channel, so you could check that out. But another spot that I would check, and I didn't put a marker here, but would be right here. So you notice this little hump that comes up. It's 3 foot of water. You're only in 12 foot of water right here at full. But it comes up to 3 foot. So you've got a little bit of a ledge going on the back side of this island, and you've also got a creek bed that's coming right to it as well. You've got a creek bed coming to the top of it, to the north of it, to the south of it, and then you got the main thing coming over here on the east side. So this area right in here would be great. I mean, I'd look at the bridge too, but also right in here, just missed that mark. I should have marked it for you guys, but right here looks like a really good spot. Okay, let's keep going. Let's move on down. We're going to get down here. It says we're Highway 58 right there. We're getting pretty far down here. But as we get down a little bit farther, again, going back, we've got these road beds that are out here. And you notice it comes up right here. There's a little island. You see another roadbed here, and then you got a submerged culvert or submerged bridge in here. These are just great places to find fish. They're really easy for them to set up on, and ambush bait and stuff like that. And they're really easy to fish around too. So definitely go take a look at those. Now let's pull this back a little bit. Let's see if we have anything else down this side, which I don't think we have too much down here from offshore until we get way back here. And we're getting we'll stop out here at Mouse Creek, but let's get back in here. As we get in here, it looks like there's some type of power plant or something like that going on right in here. But as you get pretty much even with that, again, you've got another submerged bridge that's out here. If these things are there, they're money spots to go find fish. And this one's just right off the major river channel, but right off of a pretty decent little creek that's coming out of there. So I would definitely go fish that bridge and then come over here to the marina. This is B&B Marina. And as you come in here, you're going to see that there's a little point, a little underwater point that comes right out here off the marina. And so it'd be right here in this area. And notice the creek channel. I keep forgetting I have a mouse here. Notice the creek channel comes through here and it swings down. So it swings into here. This looks like a boat ramp. So you literally have a creek channel swing touching the boat ramps. That's going to be good. But if you don't want to fish this side, maybe there's people loading and unloading and stuff like that, then just turn around and fish this point. I mean, right here is going to be a great point to fish as well. This just looks like a good area to go fish, some good docks to fish around, things like that. So as long as you're able to fish around the docks in Tennessee, you guys should be good to go and fish in those areas for sure. Okay, so let's move back. Let's see. I think we said we had a couple more down here in this area. We get way down here, right? We're traveled quite a ways down here, and then we get down here to this nice little point right here, mainly right off the main river. It's this point that comes out, and again, it's connecting to another creek channel. So you've got a creek channel and you've got the nice river channel there as well. And then on top of that, you're kind of got a little bit of a swing going on there. It kind of dives down a little bit here. You can tell because it's pretty a lot sharper here. But I've always talked about it a lot. But some of the best places that I've found when you're coming off those bluff walls are the ends of them. Now I'll fish the entire bluff wall, maybe not the entire thing, depending on how long it is. But I love to fish the ends of them, especially when the ends of them come off gradually into a point like this one does. This area just right here seems to work really, really well for me. So I love how that one sets up. All right, let's see if we have anything else back in here. I don't think we do. I think we were stopping there around the Mouse Creek area. Let's start moving our way back up. Now we're going to focus on the northern side of the bank and see what we can find coming up here. So here's that bridge we saw there. We're going to move back up. Now we're going to stay basically mainly on the main river side. We're just looking in here to see anything that we can find. And there's some interesting stuff going on right in this area for sure. We'll go click that and see what it looks like in a minute. These are things that people on Navionics have put on there. But what I like is basically you got this nice creek coming through here, and you got a really nice point. Again, the point, the main river here, the creek channel coming through here, that all looks good. And I would actually go back here and explore right around in this area too. So you've got this little underwater island, or not underwater, but it's an island. But you've got this creek channel swing that comes right through here, and it kind of touches the front side of that island. So anywhere basically where my hand is right here, all the way down to like right in here, those could be that could be some pretty productive spots. And then you've got the flat over here as well that they could get up and feed on. So that general area looks like a really good area to go take a look at. We didn't see too much up in here, just a lot of shallower stuff. So couldn't really mark anything officially, offshore for you. So let's keep moving back up. When we get back into this pocket up here, actually, we were going to talk about what those spots were, weren't we, to see what those were. So let's go back and take a look at it. That just says a point, and that says stump. So be really careful if you're fishing there on the stumps. I probably should have mentioned that too. This island, it's okay. I mean, it's got a pretty good drop right in front of it and all that, but I like that other one just so much better, the one that we saw earlier. So let's go ahead and let's keep moving. I have no idea why that thing came on, but we will just leave it there and let it be. So let's zoom this back. Let's go back up here, kind of a little bit further up in here. Now we're in, I don't know where we're at. We're actually, it says we're in Race Path Hollow, or we're close to Race Path Hollow. So we're going to come up in here. Now all this area looks pretty decent in here. This looks good. You got a little creek channel swing coming here. Again, that spot I was telling you about, you got flooded timber around in here too. So this spot right in here, even though we don't have it marked, as we're going through the breakdown, I'll find things that stick out to me as well. And this is one of those spots I would probably check it out. You got flooded timber here. That can be good. You've got a really good creek channel bends right there, and a good creek channel bend right here as well. So two really good bends and some flooded timber. I'm thinking that could be a pretty productive spot for sure. Now let's keep moving on back. As we move back, you can see where people have put marks. So obviously this must be a pretty good area to go find some fish. We got some crappie there. This must be like the crappie place. And then bass. The bass are just up in the flats, so they must have been doing some springtime fishing for sure. And then when we get way back in here, we finally get back here, we got another one of those bridges. And this one's actually pretty shallow, 5 to 6 feet. So it's going to be a certain time of the year type thing when they're going to be back in here. But anytime you get those pinch points like that, like I talked about, you definitely want to fish around them. Those causeways are great places to fish around, and they're always loaded with fish almost all times a year too. It's pretty amazing. So let's keep moving up, see what else we can find up here. Right here, we got a pretty decent little point. And here we have a pretty decent looking little ledge. That's not your normal ledge that's on your river channel ledge, but this is a little ledge that's being created right here by this creek channel swing that's swinging right up against this point that comes over here. So this right here looks like a very productive point, as well as fishing over right in here, right where this creek channel bends right here and swings up against the point. And then also, as you're fishing that, look over here and fish this point too. This looks like a really good shallow point, comes out really long right in here. Really good, probably really good fall spot. And even right back here, as I move this up, just looking where these creek channels swing at, and look where they bend. And technically, if they bend and they touch something like a point, they call that a creek channel swing. So this would be a really good creek channel swing right in here as well that you may want to take a look at. Let's keep moving up. We're going to go over here to this new bridge, or to this bridge that's right here, the Russell Ferry Bridge. And just making an offshore spot, obviously look right underneath it. Right there where that ends is right where your ledges are going to be. And these are always going to be great spots to go up and look at all the pillars and things like that from an offshore standpoint. Anytime you have a bridge, go fish around the bridge. There's fish around the bridges. So definitely go take a look at that. There's another one of those areas too that I was telling you about where you have these creek beds that come in. And so you always want to look kind of in those areas and see what's going on those spots. You got some pretty good ledges over here going on as well. When you look at this, look how steep this is. Nice flat up here at 9 foot, and then boom, major drop into the river channel all the way through there. And then you have your bluffs over here on this side that you can fish as well. And those go pretty far down. You can see how deep they are. They go pretty far down all the way into here, and then this is where they start to kind of fizzle away. And again, when I'm fishing around bluff walls, those spots, and this one's not as good, or at least doesn't set up as good for me visually as what I like to see. But it would be right in here is where I'd really start to pay a lot of attention in fishing, and then maybe slowly start working my way into the really big bluff wall, but more on this in these areas right around here. Another creek bed right in there as well. And then we're going to swing up. Going to go all the way up here. We're going to just follow the river channel like we did last time and see what else we can find as we get a little bit further up here. I'm just north of the Holder area. So just get north of there. Again, we've got another, actually I'm in the Powell area, but as we get in here, you got another submerged bridge that's back in here as well. This one looks pretty decent. It looks like a good spot, again, that they could set up on from a pre-spawn and post-spawn standpoint. Good stopping spot for them. It's right out there in the middle of the channel, so they got plenty of food coming to them, and then some pretty good flats that are nearby as well. So I can see that one being a pretty decent one. It's going to be fairly shallow. Let's see how deep it is, like 6 to 7 feet. So it's not really that deep, but definitely a good spot to go look for them. Let's move on up. Let's look in here. These two little pockets right in here, this Roberts area is looking really good. As we move into here, we go back in here. This is probably another submerged bridge. And don't just pay attention to the bridges. When you're back here and you see these points, and you see the bridge. If you go to the bridge, there's nothing on the bridge. Take a few minutes out of your time to just go down, or take a few minutes out of your day to just go down these road beds and just see, is there anything relating to these road beds? Is there anything else here that maybe Navionics didn't mark for us? Are there big rock piles out here? Is there old debris out here on the road beds? There's always something that's on those road beds, and those are usually going to be your hot spots. So you definitely want to go look for those. Again, over here, we got the same road bed that comes all the way through here. It comes up here and touches another submerged bridge in this area. This is 9 feet, 8 to 9 feet. So this is pretty decent depth. Definitely a good place where you could find some largies. So you want to go in here and check this out. You've also got a road bed there too. I'm not saying the smallmouth won't be there either, but just a good place to find fish overall, I guess I should say. Then we get back here. This is that point we talked about, and this really takes us back in here to the main river. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here. We're going to talk about a couple of these, and then we'll finish this video, and we'll come back and we'll go up the Tennessee side, look at all that from an offshore standpoint, and come back down to the bridge on our next video. So let's go up here and just see what else we have as we come up this river channel. You got a lot of little marks here. See all these little marks? These are from Navionics people. Let's just take a look at it and see what it says. So it says ledge, 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 point, ledge, ledge, point. So obviously you've got some pretty good ledges that are going on here, and you can see it. I mean, you can find the ledge anywhere. Just find the creek channel, not the creek channel. Find the river channel, and then you're going to find the ledges pretty quickly. The thing I like about this one, though, this little ledge right in here, is that you've got this really shallow area up here, 4 feet. So you've got a nice big flat that's going on over here right before you get to the ledge. And even on the other side of this thing, when I zoom back, there is a creek channel bend coming right through here. It is swinging this way. So you got the bend coming right through here. So even right in here or anywhere up on that flat or on those ledges, basically just put a square on this area, and that you're going to find something in this area. It's just got a lot of good things to it. It's got the ledges, it's got the humps, it's got the flats, it's got another hump that's over here. It's got creek channel swinging up against the little underwater hump right there. It's got some really good turns. It's got flats in the back with a road bed. It's got a point that's out here. It's got intersections where the creek channels actually merge together. Another little swing right in here. So I've got the point here, but pretty much you can draw a big old circle in this area because this is looking like a really good spot to fish. You've also got a good point that comes out here as well. Let's see what they put out there. It's probably crappie again, but we'll look and see. It just says point, point. So just fishing the points. So let's move back up here. Now we're getting into the Tennessee side. I'm going to point out these two, and then we'll end right here on these last two. So as we come over here and we stay in the shallow areas, we come back and we get back into here, another one of those submerged bridges. Also, I don't think I've talked about it too much. We've talked about it a couple times here on this breakdown, but these intersections, anytime you get into these intersections of creek beds, you want to look. They are really good areas for fish to collect up on. Another good underwater bridge back here too. And that's, really good spawning area back in there. So that bridge could be money come post spawn and pre spawn, which is probably getting pretty close if it's not here already. So anyways, guys, that wraps us up for our first offshore hotspots video for Lake Chickamauga. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope you go out and catch your PB this weekend. Please go out to our website, simplisticfishing.com. We've got all of these waypoints, including all of the waypoints we talked about on the Google Earth side. We've got them ready for you. You can either get them emailed to you as a digital file, or we can send you the SD card. You take those cards, you put them in your graph, all these waypoints pop up for you, and basically you have the lake broken down for you right there in front of you. It will definitely change the way you fish. So go check it out, simplisticfishing.com. And don't forget, always go out and check out our sponsor, omniafishing.com. The link is in the description. Again, until next time, I hope you catch your PB. Take it easy, guys.